In today's video, we'll be going over some bits of TekWizard. In this video, we'll be focusing on the TekMonitor template with a video on the device template coming later. So first thing you're going to want to do is find a template you want to work from and select it. As you can see, when I selected it, it automatically selected a device template. But if you want to change that, you can. As mentioned, we'll be going over that in more detail in a later video. So after we have our TekMonitor template selected, we're going to want to hit next, and we'll be taken to the location settings. This is where we set the location information for a TekMonitor, and that will determine how it appears in the project. So let's make this ENG 101. This can be in the TekVOX offices in the engineering building. So these first two options are fairly self-explanatory, with the top level being the whole campus or location the TekMonitor will be in, such as a set of offices or a school campus, with this second option being for the building the TekMonitor is in. Here we have group or department. This can be used to set various other things. In this example, we have it right here listed as a classroom, but I could change this to be a conference room instead. And we're going to want to change the room name to match the room we will be putting this in. Down below here, we have an extra TekMonitor information field. So let's edit this. We generally program these with the device template. The TekMonitor template is generally made for. As well as the project that the touchpad or touch panel should be loaded with for the room to control the room, should the room have a touchpad or touch panel control. Let's throw a name in here. One touchpad project. That way, if you ever need to replace a touchpad or touch panel, it'll be fairly easy to look up the TekMonitor information and see what the touchpad should be loaded with. You can also set other information here up to 5 lines of info. So here we have extra info spaces for 3, 4, and 5. This can be whatever additional information you may want to store about this room. After the locations settings, we have more general settings. Here we can set, let's start with the network settings. So here you can set whether or not the TekMonitor automatically gets its IP address using DHCP, in which case the router will assign the TekMonitor an IP address, or you can statically assign the TekMonitor's IP address. You type out all the IP information down here. And it also provides an option to ping the IP you have typed here to make sure there is no other device already on that IP. Because if two devices on a network are assigned the same static IP, it can be hard to find one or both of them on the network because of that address conflict. To the side of the IP settings, we have communication settings. These top two settings you generally will not need to mess with. You should just leave them as they are. Down here is the passcode. This is the passcode that you will use when searching for this TekMonitor on your network. You'll want to make sure it is unique generally for either that range or building, and you can set that to whatever you want it to be. Down here we have a timeout, which you also generally will not need to mess with. After that, we have host settings. Here you can enable or disable tech security, along with the various timers and notifications the TekMonitor has. In general, you probably won't need to mess with the system or motion timers, but if you do, you can enable them here, as well as change how long the timer will run before going off. Here, in notifications, you can enable or disable usage reports. These will be emailed to the normal email setup in email settings. And you can also enable or disable error message notifications. We advise you leave this on, but if you want to disable it, you can. And lastly, on this page, we have time zone settings, and you can select your time zone from the list provided, as well as whether or not the TekMonitor should adjust for daylight savings. After host settings, we have email settings. In order for a TekMonitor to be able to send out email to you, you need to set up, make sure it has the right information and credentials to connect to an SMTP email server. So let's type out an example just to show you something, what it might look like. SMTP, a port, a username, and a password. After that, you'll want to set the from address. This will be the address the TekMonitor will use to send out the emails. So for example, we could have it be something like tech3 at example.com. And we can have it go to, for example, normal. You might want to go to a help desk or someone to manage. And security. So security, this is where the any tech security notifications will go to, and you'll want to make sure that whoever you set to be the security email can respond quickly in the event that tech security is triggered, so that they can make sure you don't lose any equipment. After that, we can set up the specific email messages. This is where you'll set what the TekMonitor will send. So for example, for normal, you might put something like the help needed in room ENG 101. And this can be any number of messages, any kind of message, depending on what you need. As you can see, normal email has two priorities, normal priority and high priority. High priority will obviously, the TekMonitor will focus on sending out high priority messages before any regular priority messages. Next, we'll look at security emails real quick. Here, as you can notice, there are fewer email messages to set, and they are all high priority. Generally, you'll want to set these notifications. For example, here we have display disconnected, and the TekMonitor will send out an email to your security department set up in the email settings that a display has been disconnected. This can be in case of theft, and you may want to have someone look at that. And lastly, here we have asset information. This is where you'll set the various information about the assets you have in the room. As you can see here, we have a projector and a TekVox 1201 in switcher. So if you have your own asset numbering system, this would be where you'd put an asset number or label for a TekMonitor. We tend to leave the asset number as the TekMonitor serial number unless informed otherwise. Down here is where you would input the asset information for your main device, for your two main devices. So let's type in a serial number here, as well as an asset number down here as well. All right. And after you get your serial numbers and asset numbers all set up, you notice down here we have a few different dates you can set. We will set the purchase and warranty date. So let's set that right now. So let's say this room was purchased on the 22nd of September of 2021, and it's going to be installed by installer Inc. Here, we will also set the warranty date. And here is the installation date. Since we don't normally install systems and leave them up to whatever installer you prefer for your business, this is where you'd want to set the day they install it. In general, you will probably be setting the installation date via the property panels, but if you ever find yourself needing to make changes to a TekMonitor's templates, you'll want to make sure you have the right information in here. Let's just say this was installed on the 25th of September. And that covers all the settings that fall under the TekMonitor template. In order to save this information, you're going to want to click Finish either here or here. That will take you to the page to save it. So let's save this as one. So you'll want to make sure you check this to save your settings to a template, and then you'll want to hit save. And if we go back to start, we can see our new template has been saved and is available to edit if we so wish. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.